Okay, so in this one, I just want to quickly show you how I got around making that first video in Blender. So all we have to do is go over here and search up Blender and download the software. Blender.org here, org. Download it, it's available for Mac and Windows. That's gonna be a bit laggy for me, unfortunately, but I'll try to get through it very quickly. So what I did is essentially I downloaded, installed the application, and then I searched up iPhone models. So iPhone, let's see here, 13 model, or 12 model, Blender, like that. And there's quite a few websites. Sketchfab seems to be the nicest one that I did find. And actually this is the one I used, I believe. So clicked on this. And then I went down here and just downloaded it, download 3D model, then logged in and opened it up. So just download this. Let's see here, like that. And I choose the original format, which is a Blender format already. So that's really cool. All right, so once that's downloaded, close this up, wait for that to download very quickly. Let me see if I still have it, so I'll just open it up for you. I don't believe I have it anymore, unfortunately. Now, I'm not a Blender expert, but just messing around with it, I managed to figure it out and managed to make a little video. So here we go. After you unpack it, you get this whole debacle here, and then you have a source here with a Blender file. So I'm just going to open that up very quickly. And I'm going to put it right here for us. So it depends how it's going to open up. It's going to look something like this for you. And it's going to be a bit overwhelming, but don't worry about it. So first thing you should do is just go over here to modeling. All right. And now I'm using 2 fingers here. I'm on a touch bar, but I can move around and see this object right here. Okay. So what essentially I want to do is get one of these because they're the same. So if you just click on them, you can select them. And here it's kind of like layers tab. You can get rid of one just by right clicking and doing delete. All right, so we have our model here, which I mean, you cannot see too much of it yet because we are in the viewport shading mode. It's in solid mode, which means it's just going to render it out like that. If you go over here to viewport shading method and choose this one, then it's going to render it out basically how it would export it with lighting and shadows and all of that good sort of stuff. So what I did was I kept it on this mode and essentially just double clicked here and opened up the layers panel here and just made it smaller. And I chose basically the back of it. So I went through these like that. So first of all, let's go over here to the back. So I click on that, and then in this panel down here below, you're gonna find something called materials. So click on that, it's this little circle icon, and then you can go here to the base color and just update the color to whatever you want. So if I want a bluish color, you can go over like that and change it to a bluish color. And same to the other ones. So feel free to customize it any way you want. Just click on all of them. If you see that golden color in this case, I'm not sure how the layers are here, but just go through them and change the color again like that. What you can also do after, so for this specific one, I also need to update the screen here because it didn't recognize it for some reason. So I'm going to go over to the display here and as a base color, it had basically a PSD image. So if I click here on this icon here, it should do this iPhone 13 Pro PSD, but it's not doing it for some reason. So I'm going to click on this folder icon here and just go back, go up a folder, go to source or textures, I should say, and choose camera texture. I believe it's this one, iPhone 13 Pro. And double click on that. And there we go. That fixes that issue as well. Now, this is specific to this model. I'm not sure if he messed something up or not, but it wasn't linked properly. So you can do the same for the lenses. So if I click on the lens here, I can go over to the base color, expand this, and just update it to the lens JPEG here, or PNG. There we go. And now all the other ones, I'm not sure where they are. If you look through them, you're gonna see the base color set as the lens. So let me see if I can find that. That's lens 2. So I believe that's the lens in the front there. And yes, it did update it. Let me see if I can find another one just to show you as an example. So that's the glass. Oh, I really cannot find them anymore. Back, black. Where are the lenses? Oh my goodness. I think this is one of them, CA. It says camera texture. Is this the one I already updated? Let's take a look. Let's just go back here, textures, and do the camera texture again. There we go. That's the one. Now it's perfectly updated. Cool. So the way we can move this around is we can click on it once and go over to this tool here, which is the move tool. You can move it up, left, and right in the Z index, which is the depth of it, like that. Cool. So I'm just going to move it up here like that. Just rotate it around a little bit. And you also have these views here. So if you click Y, you can easily position it up like that, and then go over to X to see the front and just move it around. Okay, I'm gonna probably do a Blender course on it once I get a bit more proficient in it, but for now, again, this is not really about Blender. So what I did next was basically add some lighting to the scene and a plane in the background, so a background to it. So what you can do is hold Shift A and add a plane to it, and then if you press S and just move your mouse around, you can scale it up like that. We can also open up a property panel right here in the corner. So if we click on the arrow, we can rotate it by 90 degrees, so like that. Optionally, what you can do is just go back and hit R and say Y 90. All right, so R, Y 90. And there it is. So again, you can move it with X and Y here like that, back and forth, position it just like that. And that looks really good to me. Okay, next up, what I want to do is add some lighting. So Shift A again, and we're going to go over to light, and there's many here. I'm just going to choose a point light here for us. Just move this up. I'm going to rotate this and just move this right here. I'm also going to update the background. So I'm going to click on the background, and on the material tab here, I'm going to click new and hit plus. I'm just going to change the base color of it to white, which it already is. So it's a matter of the lighting now to make it look nice. So just bring it up, bring it a bit to the side, kind of position it, experiment with it. I'm going to move it up here. What you can do is just increase the power of this here. So if you go over to the light setting, whilst the light is clicked, so you can either click it there or you can click it in the panel right here. All right, so let's just increase this quite a bit, 200, 300. That looks really good to me. All right, cool. So we can move this around. It's gonna take a while to update, so give it a little bit of time. Okay, cool. Now what I can do is add the camera. So Shift A, and we're gonna do a camera. Click on that, and there's our little camera. So what we can do actually is just go into the camera view and position it the way we want. So we can go here to view, and down here what we can do is lock the camera to view. So if I click that and then go over here to view and then go over to active camera, now I can just zoom out. So I'm going to drag my mouse and just zoom out, and the camera is going to move with my view here. So again, position it, just kind of moving it around, holding Shift. I'm going to drag up, zoom in a little bit. You can experiment with it. I'm going to leave it like that. This is just a little test right now, okay? So what I did for that video, I'm going to click on the phone actually. Let me move this so it's kind of straight. Is I took the phone, I'm going to go here to the item, actually rotated it to the side like that. So I'm going to use the Y to rotate it. and then the Z to rotate it this way. Okay, there we go. Something like that. I'm not going to be too precise right now, but you get the idea. So let's just move it like that. I'm just going to move my camera a little bit up like that. And what I did for this specific effect is I went over to the, so I'm in the camera now. I'm going to go over here to, should be here somewhere. Let me see, where is the camera setting? Should be here. So also update this to GPU compute. So this is when you're actually rendering out the final project. GPU compute is going to use your NVIDIA graphics card if you have one, or if you're on a Mac, it's going to use the Metal. It's going to just perform a little bit better. Okay, let's keep searching for, where is that camera? So as I told you, I think I need to click on it first. Here we go. Click on the camera. There we go. There's camera settings. I forgot to click on it. And what I can do is actually just increase the focal length of this by a ton, like that. Okay. And again, I can hold shift and just move this across like that. And I can also increase the bokeh effect, so getting that depth of field. So click on the depth of field there, and f-stop basically means how blurry you essentially want the rest of the image. So I actually can pick a object, a focus point here, and select the lens, just like that. We just bring down the f-stop here to like 1.2. Yeah, it looks like it's working just fine. So it detected it perfectly. So look at that. So everything else is blurry, but the lens is nice and clear. So now essentially what I want to do is just create some keyframes and animate this back. Okay, let's just go over here to the animation tool. All right, and all I want to do is just scroll here back to 0 like that. I'm gonna just drag this away because I don't need to see that, and just go back to that camera view. So click on the camera. Let's make sure it's locked in the first place. So go over here to view, lock the camera to the view, and then view again. And we'll just go over to active camera like that. All right, so now what I want to do is animate stuff. Click on whichever thing you want to animate. In this case, I'll do the camera. Go over here, or over here in this section, or pretty much anything that you want to animate. Let's click on the camera here. And let's say I want to just move it back. So let's see here. Oops. Let me click on, where was it? Transform, open this up. It says nothing selected. Why is it doing that now? Okay, let's click off of it and click back. That's the solution to my problem. Let's select the tweak here. Okay, go back to now rendering, animation. Click, there we go. Manage to click on that. Click on the camera. Here we go, camera. And I can set a point here, which is a keyframe right there. So I can go in like 3 seconds in, so I can run this animation maybe 30 frames per second, so that's 3 seconds. I can just zoom it out like that to maybe 90. All right, and then all I'm gonna do is click I on it again, and that sets another keyframe. Now if I play it, that does a nice little animation for us like that. Now what I can also do is add the easings in here if I want to. I can right click on these and do, no, let's see, easing mode, and we can do an ease out if we want to. All right, there we go. So that's cool. Let me see, did I apply that? Ease out. Okay, cool. So you can do the same thing now with the phone. So you can add multiple things here. I can select the phone. I can just press I here where we have our location and maybe rotation as well. Go 90 seconds in or any amount, and then play around with it. Maybe move it this way a little bit, maybe do some rotation, do like that. Whoa, really cool effect right here. This is terrible, but okay, how do I rotate? Maybe something like that. All right, cool. And after you're done, hit I until it turns yellow, hit I until it turns yellow. And look at that, you have a cool, interesting little animation. Now it doesn't look that good here because it's not rendering it with the light. If we'd go over here to the shading mode, that would render it out with realistic lighting and everything. Now if I press play, my computer is gonna explode, so I'm just not gonna do that. Okay, so after you do that, other things you can do is, let me think about it. What else? Yeah, the way you export it is you go over here to this setting right here, choose the resolution 1920 by 1080. You can choose the output folder here if you want to. So you can go over to maybe movies, accept, and the file format as well. So you can do an FFmpeg video. That's gonna look great. And then all you need to do is go over up here to render and render animation. And that's it. Hit that, it's gonna render it out nicely, and you should have a nice little video.